Hello, welcome to the D&D show. I just wanted to record a quick introduction to let you know how much we appreciate you giving us a try. There are so many D&D shows out there. Just wanted to let you know we're really grateful you've chosen to download this one. I also wanted to give you fair warning on these first few episodes that the sound quality is not great. Sorry about that. But please do bear with us. I promise from about episode 4 onwards, it does get much better. We've improved our settings and bought new equipment. So please stick around long enough to hear that. Basically, we record live as we stream straight to Twitch every Tuesday at around 8:30 p.m. as UK time. So it took us a little while to get the audio set up properly. This is also why our episode's a little bit long, you might have noticed, and why they're broken into 2 parts. That's about it. Just another quick one to end with. I hope that you do enjoy what you hear. If you do, please leave us a review on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. You can also find all our social media account info at the end of the episode, which was recorded live, if you want to follow us on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. We do post regular updates about us, including reminders and all the links to our Twitch stream when it go live and our YouTube channel and things like that. So please do tune in live on Twitch at some time as well and get involved. Otherwise, thanks again. I hope you do enjoy episode 1, Stranger Danger.
Hey, hello. I think that worked. We'll see. Hello, and to those 2 people who may be viewing, I don't know, Lisa, you'll have to let us know if it's working or not. There's nothing on my TV to say that it's streaming, so...
There's a stream on my TV.
There is?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Whee. So, hello to Lisa, who's playing, and Pete, Lisa's boyfriend, who's supposedly watching us. This is the D&D show, which may stand for, I don't know what it stands for, Dunkin' Donuts show, or... I don't know. It may be copyrighted,
Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Or perhaps it's the Dungeons and Drag Queens show. We haven't decided yet. My name's Luke. I'm the GM, co-host of this wonderful show, and we are going to be playing through the beginner's starter set, The Lost Mines of Phandelver, with a couple of players, because we're bored in isolation, mostly, and... I've been playing for a while, Lisa's been playing for a while, James has played with before, but Gavin is a complete noob. So we'll go through and do some introductions, I suppose. So, ladies first. Hello, Lisa.
Hi. This
Hello.
is now weird. This is strange.
Isn't it? This is really strange. This is bizarre. I've been listening to podcasts for ages, and these people are so confident. I don't know how they do it. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, I feel hugely misplaced now. And I'm good. I'm excited, though.
Excited.
I really want to get this going.
We're going to be famous. Yes. We're going to have a YouTube channel. We're going to have a podcast. We're going to get a Patreon set up. Are we e-sporting right now? Is that what we're doing? Is this an e-sport? I don't know if it is. Yeah. Don't know. Moving along the screen, we've got James. Hello, James.
Hi there, Luke. Great to be here.
Hello, mate. Are we okay?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. Looking forward to playing some D&D.
Fantastic. Yes. And last but absolutely no means least, we've got Gavin. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Luke. How are you?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Shit in a brick. I've never been, as I was saying off stream, never been so nervous to play at all.
Well, I've never played, so there you go.
Well, we're going to...
I'm just nervous all the time, so great.
Well, this is it. To be fair, I do live in a constant fear of life, everything. So, this is going to be different. I've never run a game on Roll20 before online, but as everyone knows, the world's gone to shit, and we've got to do something to occupy ourselves. And I don't know how it's going to go because even pre-game talking, and the other week when we did a test run, chatting on here, it's awkward because you never know when you know body language. When can you talk? And then you stop. Oh, and it's odd. And when I've played with some friends online, I get very self-conscious and nervous and don't tend to talk too much. But face to face,
I'm awesome in D&D.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm usually quite drunk when we've played. So.
Well, so am I. So it's great. That's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. I'm going down the Southern Comfort. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I won't get so drunk that I can't operate the computer because that would be embarrassing.
Quite great, Stephen.
Well, this is it. This is it. So, a couple of weeks ago, we did a little test and we went through a little bit of information. And I'm not going to spend an hour going through everything all again. But for our one viewer out there, a little bit of pre-game setup for you all, I suppose. Lost Mines of Fandelver is the name. Again, please don't look it up. Don't cheat. It will just spoil it for yourselves. But
Spell it.
pardon? Can't spell
Sorry,
it.
I can't even spell it.
Don't worry, yeah, it's an odd one. It's a good old fashioned D&D name, just so you know where you are, what you're playing. Okay, so the world we're in is the Forgotten Realms world on the Sword Coast. You guys will be able to see the map on Roll20, which I will switch over to in a minute for people. But basically, this is scary. Okay, so basically, lots of stuff's going on in the world, which I'm not going to go into. But the adventure is going to start in Neverwinter, which some of you may know, some of you may not. About 30 years ago, there's a volcano erupted. Mount Hope now erupted, and just kind of laid waste to a lot of places. On the map that you guys can see, there's Thundertree. Thundertree was wiped out. Neverwinter was all but obliterated. Massive chasm opened up in the middle, destroying half the town. Loads of people died. The royal family died. People kind of moved out, and some refugees stayed and tried to make a life of it, including your characters. Your families have stayed around in the area, and you've kind of spent the past, you either grown up in the past 30 years in and around the area dealing with it, or you've helped out about with it as well. Kind of doing bits and jobs here. Maybe you've been a member of the militia, you've been a mercenary, worked for the town guard or something like that. Recently, the Open Lord of Waterdeep from down south has turned up with relief for the city to try and build it back up, and he has got some documents which claim that he is the rightful heir of the town or the city. So he's investing a lot of time in doing up, and with that, he's brought his own mercantile force into the area, which has kind of put you guys out of business to what you were doing before, and you're no longer needed in the town. So the past 6 months or a year, it's been a bit rough. You've struggled to find work. Until very recently, a kind of distant relative of yours, Gavin, we'll do some character introductions in a minute, has contacted you with some mercantile work, some kind of adventuring work, and offered to pay you for that, to help you out. He's like your distant fourth cousin or something along those lines. His name is Gundren Rockseeker. Again, another lovely traditional D&D name, just so you know, you are Gundren Rockseeker. Him and his brothers, whose names escape me, and I don't have it in front of me because I haven't really prepared properly, because I'm a bit naff like that. They basically have got this job for you. They've nearby town of Phandalin, which is kind of like an old, think of like Wild West. During the gold rush kind of period, it's kind of like that. On the mountains, Sword Mountains, and the hills around there, there's various different mines and things like that. And in the old days, Phandalin was a massive mining town, but it was actually laid waste to and destroyed about 300 years ago by an invading orc tribe. And since then, no one's lived there. But over the past couple of years, as Lord Neverember has returned up to the north here, with that, it's brought trade, and people in the Lord's Alliance have kind of tried to set up trading back down in Phandalin, and people have inhabited it, tried to do it up and built upon the old original town, and going out and exploring the mountains again for these mines. And Gundren has basically, him and his brothers have found a mine, and they have trying to be setting up an expedition there and get kind of legal ownership of it, and have been in Neverwinter. And Gundren has contacted you and basically said to you that if you can guard a wagon or a caravan, I suppose, of supplies for him down to Phandalin, And then once you get there, you'll get paid, but also then there'll be plenty of work around Phandalin, maybe even in the mine once it's up and running. But if not, there's plenty of work around there, and it just seems like a general good idea. So let's do some character introductions, and then we'll get going properly. So as Gavin, you're going to be our character's link into the adventure. I know you probably haven't prepped too much for it, but kind of let's talk about your character. What are you? What race? What class? Kind of, and a little bit of what you imagine your character to be like.
My character is a dwarf, a mercenary veteran, and his name is Burr Boltbra. Yeah. What else would you like to do?
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you were to cast an actor to play him, who would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a tricky one. Let me think on that.
Yeah,
You're going to ask us all these awkward
I am, yeah, because I'm trying to get myself in the mood.
Just
I'm
stick it to Gavin first of all.
I'm just.
The noob.
This is
is that what he got?
No, I'm just delaying while my brain kind of stops screaming at me. What the fuck are you doing? Cool. Okay. All right. We'll move on. So you basically, like when we talked before, I said about how when we was designing your character and stuff, we was like, what kind of fantasy character do you like? Or you kind of base yourself on. And you mentioned Mad Martigan from Willow. So I kind of so maybe Val Kilmer as a dwarf, who knows? But I kind of, when I made your character for you, because you're a noob, I kind of had that in my mind. So we've set you up as a rogue, but not a traditional thief skulking in the shadows type rogue. My envision for you is in a couple of levels time, once you've leveled up, you get to specialize. And I was thinking about the swashbuckler subclass, which is from the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide, which is so you're more of a kind of fighter type rogue, fancy footwork, rapier kind of weapon, and thinking it's like the man in the black mask in the Dread Pirate Roberts in Princess Bride. That's kind of like the type of character that I was thinking. But it's your guy. You take it anywhere you like. Well, I am looking at Gavin's avatar. He's on the right, so I'll just keep on going to the left and go to James. Introduce your character, sir.
Right, my character is a human paladin by the name of Justice Scapes. He is, I don't know, you might be able to see a picture of him. Can you see that picture?
Yeah, so you're kind of like a Friar Tuck type monk.
Yeah, Friar Tuck, but a little bit more foul-mouthed. And he's kind of a travelling justice, say, but kind of a monk as well. He's fallen a bit on hard times and has been basically collecting taxes for the new lord in Neverwinter for the last few months, and kind of got to know a few of the people in the city, and is looking for an escape, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
That's about it.
Lisa, how you doing?
Hi. Good.
Good. Tell us about Millicent.
Young Emma Thompson is my answer.
Cool. How Emma Thompson? Hermione? No. Emma Thompson. Shit, I know that one.
I've stumped you now.
No, I'm trying to think of it. The only film I can think of that she's been in was the one with Will Ferrell, Stranger Than Fiction. But she's in so much stuff. I love Emma Thompson. She's in
Nanny McPhee.
Yeah, Nanny McPhee. Yeah, she's brilliant. My wife loves her. She would kill me if she was here. I can't put a face. Yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah, good choice. So a young Emma Thompson. Okay.
Yeah. So Millicent is quite posh, or maybe it's Airs and Graces. Who knows? She is a bard. She's half elven. And for the most part, she's a bit of a wild child. Wanted to be a socialite, but life didn't kind of really work out for her that way. So she ended up trying to help out, join the military, get work, helping people, getting some stories, trying to write some songs. And this is just the path that it's led her down. I imagine that she had been handy in some sort of skirmish for someone, and perhaps Burr heard about that at some point. But she's pretty much up for anything.
Cool. James. You
Yes.
you didn't give me an actor for Scapes.
Well, who's the guy who played Hannibal Lecter in the first
Anthony Hopkins.
film?
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, let's go with Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like that, but Anthony Hopkins,
Cool. Gavin.
but more bulky.
I'm still pondering this one.
It's okay. I'll put you on the spot, and you're new. So have a think about it. I quite like. I mean, it's no really. Like I said, I quite like the idea of Val Kilmer. You know, but whatever. All right. Okay. So you've been contacted by Gundren Rockseeker. And he's given you this job, and you've put a little team together. How you guys know each other is not so important right now. You can have a think about it again. We kind of talked about it before, about maybe you've all come from some kind of military background, so maybe you've just done the odd jobs together. Maybe you're friends, maybe just drinking buddies. But it's important that you know each other, that you're friends, because it's going to just move everything forward rather than us having to pretend like we don't know each other. So you're set to leave in the morning on this kind of wagon load of mining equipment, and you've basically set to meet Gundren just on the outskirts, in a little tavern on the outskirts of Neverwinter. So you're meeting up there the night before for dinner and drink stuff, so that you can leave the following day. When you arrive there, think traditional kind of tavern. Think of like the Lord of the Rings, like the kind of tavern when they go to Bree and they're all dancing, and just before Frodo falls off and slips the ring up on his finger, the dirty bugger. And think that there's people sharing drinks. It's quite busy. It's jovial. People are having fun. There's no sign of Gundren though. You get yourselves a drink. You ask at the bar whether Gundren is available. The barkeep and bar lady, bar wench, unfortunately he's not here yet, but you are expected, and there's a back room that you can go and wait in. So you go in there, you have a couple of drinks. After a little while, eventually Gundren turns up, and there's him and another guy called, and he introduces you might know the face around a little bit, called Hagar. Friends, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I just thought that tonight we'll go through just to finalise plans. Are you all set? You've got your bags packed. You're ready for the job tomorrow?
I've got everything I need except our upfront payment.
No, payment. Unfortunately, funds aren't on me. I don't carry that kind of money around me. But funds will be received on payment once you've arrived. One of my partners, Barthin, will have the money for us when we arrive. He's ended partnership with us in supplying all of our mining equipment. So I've come here to source all of that, and the team, when we get down there, he'll be kind of giving us the payment for that. It's just Hagar. He explains everything to you that I've already explained to you previously, basically, about the job. There's this mine. We're going to open it up. We're going to make some money. It's going to be great. It's going to bring wealth to the area. The Lord's Alliance, he tells you about how he's been speaking with the Lord's Alliance and a man called Sildar, who's going to accompany them as well, from the Lord's Alliance, and basically how he's secured the rights from Lord Neverember him as well. So it's all official and above board. From that, again, time passes. You have some drinks. I'm not really one for a brand new session to go straight into hardcore role playing, because again, I just want to kind of get the game moving a little bit. But after a while, the door opens and in walks. It's an older gentleman, probably in his mid-40s, but you can tell that he's had a rough time of it. He's a knight. He looks like a knight, kind of traditional. I would say I would envision the guy from Game of Thrones, whose name escapes me, but he's the guy who follows the blonde dragon bird and he ends up getting that disease which starts turning him into stone. Do you know the guy?
He's annoying.
Yeah, he's a bit, but he's kind of cool. Yeah, he is a bit. He rushes in and he looks concerned and worried, and
all the time.
Yeah, he pulls. Yeah, he does. Yeah, as well. I kind of picked him. He pulls Gundren aside, and there's some whispering going on. To which point, you notice that what he does is Gundren's looking quite concerned as well. He pulls out a dagger, and he cuts his hand, and then he shows him, and then he gives Gundren the knife, and Gundren does it as well and cuts himself. And Gundren turns around to you and says, "We've got some sounds. It appears we're not the only ones interested in the mine. It is above board. I've got the legal rights, but some brigands apparently are infiltrating us. There may be some doppelgangers in our midst. I need you all to just show me now." And he gives you the knife to Burr, to Gavin, and asks you, prove you are my cousin.
Right, okay. And what will this prove if I cut myself?
If your blood runs red, then you are who you say you are. If it runs blue, then I know you're an imposter.
Luke, is it worth me using my divine sense, by the way?
What does your divine sense do?
Well, as an action, you can detect good and evil.
Mhm.
Until the end of your turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 foot that is not behind total cover.
I mean, that's up to you. You can certainly use it. So it would, if you use it, it will detect any evil, any undead, any fiend.
Yeah, I'd like to use it.
Okay,
Do 3 for a long rest. So.
that's fine. You do it, and you don't pick up any undead, any evil, or any fiends. Was there anything else in that list of description?
No, Hallow spell. But, yeah.
No.
Like all Hallow spell. But, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, got to check my back senses, innit? So.
Yep, absolutely. Burr, what do you do with the knife? Do you cut yourself?
Yeah, I'm just going to cut myself.
Yeah. You draw the blade across your palm, and unless you've decided to trick me, your blood will run red. And he says, "Good. I knew I could trust you, cousin. I knew it wasn't true what they said about you." And then he gives he gives the knife.
Who's saying what now? He's a good mate. I've known him a long time.
But that's the thing with doppelgangers is they look just like your friends. They take over your family, and then before you know it, they'll slit your throat in your sleep. Escapes. It's your turn.
Yeah. All right. Can I take a knife off my belt and cut my hand?
Yes, if you wish.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You do that, and your blood runs red. Millicent.
I look at the other two and kind of in my head I'm like, this is whack, this is crazy. But I'll just do a little pinprick on my finger, go ow, and then like I'm not gonna like
Okay, that's fine.
Streets.
I'm a little wussy girl.
Okay.
There you go.
And you squeeze out the tiniest little drop of blood, like you've just pricked your finger on a spinning wheel. But there it is, red. They turn at that. Everybody, roll me a perception. Now, I meant to say beforehand, if you want to use real dice, I'm happy for you to use real dice. If you want to use the inbuilt dice in Roll20, then you can. I don't mind. I've got all my dice out.
Use inbuilt dice.
That's fine.
So a D20, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a D20, yeah?
D20 plus whatever your perception modifier is on your character sheet.
Perception modifier.
So, oh yeah, +3. So,
+3. 8 is so you still at the highest, but no. Unfortunately, none of you do notice anything untoward. Gundren turns round to offer the knife to the other person in the room, whose name I said was Hagar. Who at that point lunges forward, pushes Gundren back into Sildar, and runs out of the room. What do you do?
Who's closest to him? Can you catch him?
No, because this is like a cutscene. You can chase after him.
That is the best excuse I've ever heard.
I'd like to enter the cutscene then, I think.
Sildar shouts, "Get him! He knows too much." Do you chase? Do you take chase?
Can we throw something at him?
Yeah, I definitely want to take. I want to chase.
You got to chase.
But can Bird chuck something at him as well? I mean,
Yes. Go for it. So
we can launch like a chair at him or something like that.
yeah, go for it. Improvised weapon. Roll a d20 and add your strength onto it. Oh, nice.
And strength is 9.
9, and then in the box next to it should have either a plus. So 9 would be a
It's got a -1.
-1, so 15. Okay. Yeah. So you throw this chair, and it clips him on the arm. Roll a d4.
4.
And then it'd be -1 for your strength modifier, so that'll be 2 points of damage. So you hit him in the back, but it's not a very good hit. You get him just as he's kind of leaving, like you kind of, as he swings the door open and he's out for it, you kind of, the chair hits him on the hand, but he's gone. But he has taken 2 points of damage. Do you take chase?
hell yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what I want to do, just to warm us all up, okay, is one of the concepts of doing this show was for beginners, so any beginners out there who might want to watch it as well. What I'm going to do here, though, is something that's not actually 5th edition. It's something I picked up from a podcast I listened to, and it's an old 4th edition mechanic called a skill challenge. So the basic concept of this is we're gonna do a chase. You're going to chase this guy down through the bar and wherever that will take us. We're going to go into initiative just like we would in a combat, but instead of making attack throws or casting spells or using spell slots, you're going to use a skill. So you need to decide that you want to do something, so you're going to push the narrative forward. What you'll do is, for example, you'll say, nice and easy, you could go, all right, I'm going to, rather than push my way through the crowd, I'm going to run and jump over the tables. So then you'll make like an athletics check. You'll need to beat a certain DC, and then that will drive the story forward a little bit. What I need you to do, we're going to keep it simple, is to get 5, as a group, 5 successes, so passing the DC, before you achieve 3 failures. You can't do the same thing twice, and you can't do the same thing that somebody else has already done. So you can't just go, well, my highest ability is athletics, so I'm just going to keep on doing that over and over and over again. You need to do it different every time. So let's roll initiative for you guys. So just like a normal combat, roll a d20 plus your initiative.
Mine is -1, by the way.
That's fine.
16. Oh,
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's going to be Burn first, followed by Millicent.
Oh, natural 20.
So you mean to go on? That's 2 good rolls in a row now. And then bringing up the rear will be Scapes. Okay, so what's happened has already happened. All right, so he's run out the door. Gundren was pushed back into Sildar. They're both on the floor. Gundren, as you would know, Gavin, he's not a fighter. He's not an adventurer. He's a pencil pusher at best. So it's really taken the wind out of him, and he was pushed back into Sildar, and they were a heap on the floor, and Sildar's just shouted, "Get him!" So you've thrown the chair at him, and but he's still got out back into the bar. What do you do?
So he's in the bar. He's out of the bar.
Yeah, so he's ran out into the bar. So you're in like a back room, like a little side room, and so you would need to go and see him. So if you run out into the bar, as we talked about already, so it's a packed bar. There's people everywhere. There's barely a clear table. There's waitresses carrying like jugs of grog around. There's small, I say small children, but there are children who kind of, it's a family business collecting empty cups and plates and stuff like that. It's a busy bar. There's somewhere in the corners people throwing like axes, little hatchets at a wall, like darts and things like that. People singing and dancing. There's a bard in the corner playing some pipes and doing a little jig, and people were cheering and stuff. So what are you going to do? He is on the other side of the bar, about to leave, about to
So
run.
if I'm making chase, and can I shout to stop him?
Yeah, so you could do like a persuasion or an intimidation check. So you can roll a d20, pick one of those skills, roll a d20.
Yeah, if I do persuasion.
Yeah.
So d20, and I've got a +5 for persuasion.
Nice. So that would be a success. So that's one success. What do you shout at him?
So if I shout out, stop him, he's getting away, rapist.
So you're okay. It's a bit on point to what we were talking about this afternoon, Lise. All right. So you're kind of trying to persuade people in the bar to grab him.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you shout that, someone's just coming into the door, and they hear that, and they see that, and they kind of get in his way, and they do slow him down, but he manages to pass through. That does count as a success, though. So people have tried to get in his way, and other people have shouted as well, stop him, rapist! Brilliant, one success. Millicent, you're still in the back room, but you've heard him shout, rapist!
Are there any other exits in this room?
Yeah, by all means, of course there is. It's a theatre of the mind. This room can look like whatever you want it to look like. So yeah, let's say that there is.
I'm looking for another exit rather than going through the busy bar.
Go for a window. I mean, not like you could either jump through it like SWAT team, or we can say that it's already open and you just got to hop out of it if you want to make like an athletics check to do that.
I'll do that. Come on.
Just a success. So explain to me how you do it. Is the window open or closed? What do you do?
Just really ungracefully, because I'm not actually that good. So like hop up, decide on an elbow or a leg, and actually go arse first out the window.
Arse first out the window, but as you land, luckily you kind of manage to do some kind of backwards tumble and roll up onto your feet, and you're a little bit. You're like. All right, and then you run down the alley round the building. Escapes. You're up, sir.
Right, is there a back door?
Not in this room, no. We decided there's a window. If there was a door, I'm sure Millicent would have taken the door.
Well, I just kind of feel I was going to try and go out the window myself. I'm probably a bit fat, so maybe I will run. I will run after. I don't really know what else to do.
Yeah, so you're just going to pelt it through the bar? Are you going to try and strength your way through? Or... don't know what else. Oh, I just blew down the mic. That was not a nice sound.
Just intimidate my way through. Get out of my way.
So you're going to go for the intimidation to try and get people out of your way. Roll it.
Oh, so there. There's no time to be nice. Well, it's +4.
13 in total, yeah? Well, I set the DC at 12. I thought it would be a nice easy one for you to get going. So that is another success.
Yay! Thank you, God.
2 away. So yeah, so you kind of, you're a paladin. You kind of, kind of like a knight, and you're gonna go out of my way.
Move aside, commoner.
You're kind of shoving.
Don't say commoner. Probably not a good idea, isn't it?
No, probably not. And people are kind of, so half the bar are like trying to stop this other guy, but then the other half are like, oh crap, get out of his way. So we've done all of that. We've managed to get outside. At the ends of the alley, as you're coming round Millicent, you see this man, whatever the fuck I told you his name was, Hagar, run past. Burr and escapes. You kind of bolt out the front door after him, and he is about 30 or 40 feet in front of you, but he's running up the road now. It's mid-evening, so probably a little bit earlier than it actually is in real time, so it's probably sort of 8ish. It's dusk. There are still some people milling around, shutting up shops and things like that. There's like people on the side of the inn where they bring like carts and stuff in, so there's some stagehands unloading wagons and stuff like that. Burr, it's up to you. So what are you going to do to try and chase after him?
Right, so I can't use my persuasion again.
No.
So he's sorry. Where is he at the moment?
So he's probably about 40 or 50 feet up the road, running away from you.
So I'm just gonna have to try and. Can I try throwing something at him again?
Yeah, sure, because that was like before combat before, so you can do that. You can. There's lots of things around you that you could pick up and throw at him. Yeah, absolutely. Like people drinking outside, so you can pick up a mug or I don't know, like something off the back of the wagon, a barrel, a rake, or a broom, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of throwing a brick at him.
A brick or something that so you find like a big old stone on the floor, you pick it up, throw him. So that's fine. And what I'll allow you to do is to make an what's the strength based one? Athletics? Yeah, athletics check.
Okie doke. And that's a D20, yeah?
Yeah, D20 plus your modifier. 12's your number to beat.
19.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're
Plus one.
So you're one away. So you throw this kind of bricky rock stone at him, and it kind of does. This time it does get him in the back of the head, and he does stumble down to the ground for a little bit, and he's kind of scrabbling on the floor, and he turns back and sees you, and he kind of gets up and goes to run down another alleyway. But well done, you've definitely slowed him down. Millicent, you're in like a alleyway coming out by the pub in a T-junction. You've just seen him run down, and basically seen everything that I've just said.
You said there was other people around.
Yeah, if you want there to be.
So I'm going to try and plead with the people around to hold that man, and I'm going to be all damsel in distressy. I'm like, oh no, we need to stop that man.
Rapist. So what kind of check are you going to do?
A performance check.
A performance check.
Can you rile up the crowd that much?
Okay.
Yeah. This is
I'll allow it, but I think what you're trying to do is very similar to a persuasion check, but trying to use a different stat. So because
you are correct, Luke.
Yeah. So because we've already had a persuasion and we've already had an intimidation, which either of those skills would probably be more suitable than a performance check. I'll allow it, but with disadvantage because
you are the supreme leader.
It's for shits and giggles.
This is how this works.
I don't want you to win quite so easily.
So there's one. Oh no. Oh shit. The other one's a natural 20. Watch. Oh yeah, great.
Oh, either way, it would have been a fail anyway. Okay, so
I have +3.
yeah, still a fail. All right, so you try and do some piece of dramatic, but you know what? You're a bard, but drama's not your strong point. You're more of a musician, and so you're kind of like GCSE level, like, oh, get that man! He stole my handbag! Stop him! And everyone's just like, but isn't he a rapist? What? And nobody is really paying much attention. That is one failure. Scapes, you're up.
Right, well, can I just charge? You
can just charge. You can. You absolutely can. It's a different thing, but what stat would you going to use for it? Because we've had athletics and we've had acrobatics.
Right. The thing is, I was going to use athletics.
So
religion?
because yeah, religious run. So again, like I will allow it, but with disadvantage because it's already been done. We want you to think a little bit outside the box. What other skills do you have? Animal.
Yeah, okay.
You could.
Are there any dogs near you?
Why not? Yeah. If you want there to be.
Yeah, I want to call the dog so it trips him up.
Do it.
It's terrible. I've only got a +1. I don't know why. It's fun.
You've only got to roll an 11.
Oh.
Okay, so this one will be the decider as to whether it's a pass or a fail. So you're chasing after him. He's gone down another alleyway and he's weaving in and out of the streets. And you've chased after him a bit, and you're all kind of shouting and trying to whistle dogs. You can see him. He is getting away, but you're now in an alleyway again, just round the corner, back of shops. So again, there are so now you're in the back of an alleyway. So there is boxes around. There is rubbish and garbage around, and the way's a little bit blocked, so you could do things like, you don't always have to be trying to do something to him, by the way. I should have said this earlier on. It could just be something like, again, we've done athletics and we've done acrobatics, but it could be something like, well, I'm going to run and I'm going to vault over this stuff, or a little bit like what James has done, like you could try and whistle dogs and things like that. There's lots of different type of things that you could do. You could do like, which way has he gone? Has he gone left? Is he right? Can I roll perception? Or you could do like a history check to see if you know a shortcut through that might cut him off, because that would be the best one for like maps and stuff. There's not really in 4th edition there used to be a skill called Streetwise. Doesn't exist any longer. So just some ideas. Gavin, Burr, what are you gonna do?
So he's down this alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he's how many feet away now?
Yeah, he's still quite some. You did manage to catch up a little bit with him, based on your success when you threw a rock in his head. But the 2 failures that have happened before, he's managed to kind of get up and scrabble on a little bit. So he's, we're not at a point at the moment where you'd be able to attack him, if that's what you're thinking. So, like I said, just
can he hear us if we're shouting?
Yes, he would hear you, but we have already had several kind of like talking type skills done.
Right.
Things like stealth, you could try and sneak round to try and get round him. You could percept which way he went. You could... I should know.
So the ones that I've got are the ones that are coloured in black, yeah?
You can do anything. So the ones that are coloured in black are the ones that you are better at, trained in, or proficient with is the term. But you can use any skill you like.
Okay. So, are there any horses nearby?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we can
I spot the nearest horse to me, and I vault onto the horse
Mm-hmm.
and chase him down.
Excellent. I will allow it. I'll allow it. We just had animal handling, if that's the skill you're looking at. So what I'll do, instead of animal handling,
Right.
because one of the first checks we did was acrobatics. That was when Millicent jumped out the window.
Yes.
I'll allow you to do acrobatics for the vault onto the horse instead of the animal handling.
Instead of the animal handling, yeah.
Yeah. So it's whether you can jump on the horse without falling over or not.
Right, okay. Here we go then. 9 plus 3.
Spot on the head.
Yeah.
You've done it. There we go. So you do that. You jump up and you kind of like in the movies, you run up a barrel, and step off of somebody's head, and you kind of pull onto this horse, and you're like, yeah, and you chase him down. We're going to move on now. So you basically, guys, you manage to track him down. You chase him down, and you're galloping on a horse, and you find him in a dead end of thingy-majiggy. So here we go. So yeah, you've kind of ran up this call up here on your horse, and as you've got close to him, he's kind of jumped backwards and fallen over into those boxes and stuff, and you've jumped off the horse. So let's kind of put you more like that, and then these guys have run up the alleyway behind you and found you. So here we go. Right, so here we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into combat. Dum 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 dum. The screen's going to go all pixelated as it zooms in, and it's like bum 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 bum. Final Fantasy. Has anyone played the Final Fantasy VII remake? Came out the other day.
No.
Never
I
played.
believe our one viewer is playing it right now.
Is he indeed?
He sent me a picture of us on his iPad and him playing Final Fantasy.
Oh, so this is so that he can pretend that he's watching, supporting
Yeah, he's
us.
not watching.
Well, it's actually he's not watching. That's fair enough. Yeah, I kind of forgot it was coming out with the lockdown and everything, because I would have had it on pre-order, but I completely forgot about it. And then it came out, and I was like, "Fuck, it's out!" And I had to look. Amazon is just not delivering at all and out of stock.
Yeah.
So I was like,
if it's any encouragement, he's absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
It's the best game he's probably ever played. So
I played the demo and it was pretty good. But yeah, I had to look on the PS Store to see if I could download it. It was 60 quid for a digital download. I was like, fuck off. I'm not.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm going to wait a little bit and get it later in the year, I think, because I can't
It'll be worth the wait.
Yeah, cool. Let's go initiative again. Proper initiative for a
Oh, we did? Oh, yeah, we're
proper
on Insta, aren't
combat.
we?
Yes.
Oh, he just texted me. Yeah, he's still watching and still playing Final Fantasy.
Cool. Yes.
Mine's -1.
Ah,
Oh, actually,
well, yeah.
I think we do have another viewer. Yeah, actually, I just checked my TV. Lucaroo22, he's a guy that I play other D&D with. There we go. So he was giving advice for the. I don't know. You guys haven't got this. One of my friends who I play D&D with, Luke, he just said hi. He was giving advice for the skill challenge. He says, see a mystical trinket in the fireplace and make an Arcana check to see if it's sentient and fancies rolling across the floor to trip him up.
That's dope. Should have done that.
Oh well, thanks.
I'm very linear with my clothes at the moment.
That's all right.
Chuck a chair at him.
Chuck shit.
Hey, look, it worked.
It did.
Got us here.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
So, initiative, is that yours on the screen? What have we got going on?
Yeah,
Millicent,
14th May.
then Scapes, then Burr.
Okay, so we've got 14, 13, Ember. Okay. Unfortunately, the old Hagar rolled a little bit higher than you guys. He gets up, starts walking towards you. Right, so he's going to get to go first. He's going to try and see if he can. 10, 15. He can't get very far, so he'll double move. He's got up and stumbled, and he's getting up and he's trying to walk around. He's like, guys, why is this? He's mad. I don't understand. He was gonna kill me. Please. And that's all he's got. Burr. Your orders were to stop him. What are you going to do?
Why up first? Yeah.
No, sorry, Millicent was up first, wasn't she? Sorry.
Yeah.
Millicent.
Wasn't paying attention. Okay. Got to get nearer to so I can see him. So is it eye line?
Mm-hmm.
6. I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow.
Do it.
Yeah.
Roll a d20 plus your to hit modifier. You know what you're doing. It's just for those couple of noobs out there who might not.
Don't say that on the internet. So that will imply that I know what I'm doing.
Luke, is he bleeding yet? By the way.
No.
Instead of rocking his head.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like he's a tough boy.
Okay.
That's a point, actually, wasn't it? You did some damage.
Not a fixed skull.
Okay. Did you roll a 10?
I did.
That's shit.
Yeah.
That's a miss. Come on, you got to do better than that. He's a tough boy.
I will.
You've got anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to bonus action inspire Burr.
Burr. So the bardic inspiration. So is it a D? We did this before.
1d6.
Yeah. So it's you can choose to add a D6 onto a D20 roll if you want to.
Okay.
Burr, she whispers, does a little MC kind of.
Just some hype man stuff in his ear, like, yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Spits a quick 6-second bar into your ear.
Spits and bars.
We've got just 6 seconds to go.
That was all my movement.
Was that okay?
So
That's fine.
That's it, yeah.
Cool.
That's me.
Scopes, you're up next, boy. He's a bit
Right,
far from you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need to spend a lot of time getting closer to him.
Yeah, so do a double movement. You can go.
Yeah. How far can I go on that?
I think your movement's probably 30 feet. So if you're doing a double movement, you can do 60, which should get you to him. So you can get right up to him. You won't be able to attack him, but it will mean that you'll get an attack of opportunity against him if he does go for it.
Right. Is it possible for me to get the other side?
Yes. Yeah, you've got. If that's 40 foot, then you've still got another 20 foot. So yeah, you can get right round him if you want to. Yeah.
I'd like to, yeah.
Go for it. Do it.
There you go.
Token look crazy.
Okay.
All right, so you get right round him. That's fine. I'll allow it. Cutting off his escape. If he tries to move out of your reach, you'll get an attack of opportunity against him as a reaction. Burr.
Right. Can I get to him?
So can you get to him? If you each of those squares is 5 foot. So 5, 10, 15, 20. You can indeed get right up next to him. You can flank him, get behind him in one move, and hit him with your sword or rapier, whatever you got.
Yeah, I will use my rapier. Yeah.
Okay, so I will give you advantage on the attack roll because you're flanking him. Okay.
Yeah.
So
D20.
Yeah, so roll 2 d20s, take the higher result, plus your attack modifier.
Oh,
Natural
That's
fucking
natural
20. That would do it, boy. Critical hit. So again, in our session 0, we discussed this a little bit the other week. A critical hit normally means that it's an automatic hit. So even if a monster had an armor class of 30, if you roll a natural 20, it's an automatic hit. And then you do extra damage. So that would mean that you would, by the rules, you roll your damage dice twice instead of just the once, and then add on your modifier, so you do extra damage. I don't like that rule because you could roll 2 ones, in which case that critical hit suddenly turns into a piece of shit, you know. So roll your damage dice as normal, which is on your character sheet, and then add on the maximum onto it. So for example, a rapier, I want to say, is a D8 damage dice on your character sheet.
Yeah, 1d8 plus 3.
Okay, so we'll assume that one of those dice is maximum. So you're going to do straight away, you're going to do 8 plus 3, which is 11, and then you can roll the D8 again and add that on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it says rapier plus 5
To hit.
And damage like 1d8 plus 3.
Yeah. So if you roll a D8,
Yeah.
add 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got 7 plus 3 is 10. Then because of the critical hit, you're going to do an extra 8. So you just do a massive slash in the back. Here's the kicker. Because you're a rogue on your character sheet, you'll also see something called sneak attack, which you can do once per turn.
1d6,
So because you hit, you also then get to add that on as well.
He's getting up.
1d6.
So you just add that on too.
So you roll a d6, yeah?
Yep, roll a d6. 2. So you're going to be doing a whopping 20 points of damage.
ooh.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, and I could have played my inspired d6 as well, couldn't I?
That would be to hit, but you can save that on. So you
I've
add
got
that.
10 minutes on it, so
Yeah, so basically that means that when you roll to hit, for example, if you rolled a bit poorly, you could say, I'm going to roll that inspiration dice as well for it.
Cool.
So you can hold on to that. Brilliant, well done. That's you done, and you've just really smashed him. You've done, just as I said earlier on, Dread Pirate Roberts kind of fancy swashbuckling, swish, swish, swish like Zorro into his back, and you've just sliced him up. Well done for your first attack in the game. That's the end of the first round. It is now a new round, and it is his go. I think he is wanting to try and escape, so he is going to attack. I'll tell you what he's going to do. Because he gets 2 attacks, he's going to attack both of you, because he can. So he yeah, multi-attack. He makes 2 attacks. First one against Scapes
Yeah.
is going to be a 15 to hit.
Right, I've got to roll something.
Nope, it's just 15 against your armor class, boy.
Brilliant. 18.
So he misses you, and then he's kind of swing backwards against Burr as well. And roll a 13 to hit against your armor class, Burr. So again, top of your character sheet, there should be like a little shield, and inside that is your armor class.
14.
So he misses you both. Sweet Jesus. He's going to leave it there. Brilliant. Next, Millicent.
She is gonna try and strike again. I'll move up a little bit just so I can get him in line of sight. He's not in cover because of my allies. That's how that works, is it?
So it would do. It depends on the angle, but I'd be happy with that. Maybe if you move 1 square up, that will definitely take care of it.
Yeah,
I'd
cool.
be happy with that.
Right, another bolt. Hopefully better this time.
Nice. That would do it.
Hey.
That
Yay.
would do it. Damage.
So that would be 1d8 plus 2.
Oh,
Nice. That was a good
nice.
roll.
9 points. Well done. Amazing.
That is my turn.
Okay, and you're good. No more bonus actions.
I'm just going to leave it for now.
Okay, cool. Scopes.
Can I tackle him to the ground
You're
while
doing
shouting, we want him alive?
absolutely. So you've got 2 options. You could do an attack, okay, and you can choose with melee attacks to do what's the bloody word? You can choose
Non-lethal.
non-lethal. Thank you. You can choose to do non-lethal damage, or you can try and grapple him if you want to. So if you want to grapple him, it will be a strength check. If you're proficient in athletics, then you can do an athletics check, and that will be versus his roll. Or you can just go for an attack and say, I'm going to do non-lethal and try and knock him unconscious.
Yeah, knocking unconscious, because I feel these 2 have been a little bit heavy-handed on him, really. Because we don't want to talk to him, but you know, yeah.
There's always got to be one voice of reason in every party.
Can I headbutt him, please? Non-lethal false.
I mean, yes, you can do an unarmed attack if you want to, but you can just what weapon do you have? Like a sword or something?
Yeah, I've got a sword. I could use the hilt.
Yeah, basically you use like the flat edge of the sword. I mean, by all means, do what you want. You can headbutt him if you want, but you'll do less damage. But you can just hit him with your sword and do non-lethal one. That's
Make
fine.
sure I knock him out. All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hit him with the sword.
Cool, go for it. So D20 to hit.
12 plus anything, is it?
Plus your to hit modifier, which is on your sheet.
Sorry, I'm not prepared right now.
Nor am I. Don't worry about it.
Plus 5.
Yeah, that'll hit. So, are you using your sword and using a sword and a shield?
No, I'm just using a long sword.
So that's a versatile weapon. So you
It says martial versatile, yes.
Yes. So if you're using it 2-handed, I think you do a D10 for damage.
Oh, it says underneath reach and then D10.
Yeah. So basically, with a versatile weapon, it's got 2 different damage ratings. So it will have a lower dice, like a smaller dice, if you're using it 1-handed, or you can then use it 2-handed and do more damage. But be careful what you decide, because if you're using it 2-handed, that means that you're not using your shield, which means that your AC will be 2 points lower. So you need to bear that in mind.
Right. Well, I don't think I'm using a shield anyway, so.
From what I remember on your sheet, it is factored into your AC. Because that was why originally you wanted to use a halberd, and I said to you, well, that's a 2-handed weapon, and you've got a shield.
Oh, right. Oh, okay then. All right, no, yeah. So I just want to use it one-handed.
No, he's not happy with that. He's just gone.
All right, cool. So it'll be a D8 then, plus your
I
modifier.
want to kill him. The modifier is plus 3.
Brilliant. 7 points of non-lethal damage. That's fantastic. Cool. He is not looking healthy. He's really dazed by that. Really.
As a bonus action, can I say don't kill him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can just speech is like a free action. Yeah.
Yeah, don't kill him, folks. Might be worth talking to him.
Ah, brr. You're up.
Okay. So I have a. If we're going to try and knock him out and tie him up, then I have a weapon proficiency of a light hammer.
Okay. You want to use your hammer to knock him out?
Use the light hammer to try and knock him out.
You can do that. It's not on the hammer's not statted on your sheet, so I don't know how much damage it would do. Probably a D4.
A hammer can do a lot of damage.
You can. I'm more than happy to allow that. If you roll to hit as normal, and then on your character sheet, it will be just use your normal to hit modifier, which I think you said previously was +5. That'd be fine. I'm just gonna see if I can bring up my player's handbook.
So normal D20 +5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't actually have a hammer on my sheet. Okay.
I'll allow it. You've probably got in your equipment. Have you got like a crowbar?
Yeah, I think no, I don't. No, I've got dagger, rapier, short bow. That's my attacks and spellcasting. Treasure, arrow times 20, backpack, ball bearings, bell, candle, crowbar, hammer. Yeah,
Crowbar.
hammer.
And a hammer. There we go. There we go. Smack him on the head with a hammer. It's a D4 damage. I've just had to look in the book.
So I've got to roll D20.
D20. So it would be. I'll work it out for you. Roll a D20.
Yeah.
So that's a 4. You're going to miss, but basically, when you use your rapier, your modifier for that is based on your dexterity, but your hammer will be based on your strength. So it would be it would be your roll plus your strength modifier, which I think you said earlier was -1, plus your proficiency, which is 2. So you're going to get a total of 5. So it's a miss. Even if you'd use your rapier, it would have been a miss. What have you rolled? A 5.
I haven't moved. Did you just get one attack?
So
Just gonna go for the toilet.
you can use a second weapon. So your character is built around using 2 weapons. So you would use a sword in one hand and a dagger in another hand. So you could, in the future, we'll discuss that a bit more.
But I could use the hilt of my sword then.
Yeah, you'd want if you wanted to. Yeah, go on, do it.
Yeah. 7.
So that would be plus your 5, which is 12. Do you want to cash in that Bardic Inspiration D6 dice?
I could do that, yes.
Add that on.
3.
Lovely. So it was 7 plus 5 plus 3. So what's that? 15?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll for damage on your. So again, just roll your normal damage die. But I'm assuming it'd be non-lethal. But you just roll your normal damage. So D8 plus whatever your modifier is. That was quick, James. Blimey.
Yeah, I know. It's only a small wee, I think. Very small.
A small willy.
No, a small wee.
Oh, right, small wee.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was my? I've just rolled a 1.
So it's a 1 plus your damage modifier on your sheet.
Which is where again? Sorry.
So in the middle of your sheet where it lists your weapon, you've used your rapier. So
scan to by 1d8 plus 3.
Plus 3, so 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
Boom. That you smack him on the back of the head, and the lights go out, and he just falls over to his side. Peek behind the curtain for the couple of people watching at home. There is actually a couple by the looks in the chat. I think I see 3 different names, which is cool. They'll be able to see. I don't think you guys can, but I did put a health bar on this guy on the map, and because he's is a much more challenging creature than 3 level 1 characters are supposed to be able to. That's designed for 3 level 1 characters. So I did half his hit points to less than that. I brought him down to 20 HP.
Just done the
But
other.
when you like fucked him up with that first attack, I was like, fuck, I better give him some more hit points. So if anyone watching at home wondering why it is that he's only got 20 hit points and you've done a total of 40, that's why. But he lights out, he goes down out of combat, and he's unconscious on the floor, but not dying because it was non-lethal damage. Well done.
I've got some rope. I think we should tie him up.
Yeah.
I have a set of manacles. Don't ask why, but I do.
Yeah. With use that's whatever floats your boat.
I don't mind.
Whatever you do behind closed doors, that's fine.
Oh, no. The manacles are good. Maybe I should just use an investigation, just search him down.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Okay, so what happened was when you knock him unconscious, he was like a humanoid before, like a human-looking type person. His appearance changes. You can probably see his icon on the map doesn't look like a human. I'm going to see if I've got some artwork for you. He turns into this kind of, and you suddenly realise as well that because you were not close enough before, really, and you were in combat, but the blood that came off him when he was shot with the crossbow bow and stuff is blue, like Gundren said earlier on, and he turned into this kind of, he looks like Play-Doh man on the floor. And he's unconscious.
Do any of us recognise this creature?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay, so D20, yeah?
Yes.
+2 is 18.
That'll do it. It's known as a doppelganger. All right, now you're testing me because the stats in the book. Basically, is there a
I
description?
relay this to them, by the way.
It's a shape changer. Basically, there's no doppelgangers. Here we go. They take on the appearance of other humanoids, throwing off pursuit or luring victims to their doom with misdirection and disguise. They're what did I just say they were? A monstrosity, which basically means they were like, at some point in history, they were made by weird, insane, evil wizard type people, or from the abyss or something like that. I don't know, but basically, yeah. So yeah, they can take on other people's shapes. So they're not all evil, which is why they didn't ping earlier on. They can be anything. They have more of a neutral kind of thing of whatever kind of suits their own goal. So you'll find some will, they often come from a life of servitude and slavery. So those that break free, they either go one way or the other. They either infiltrate society and try and just take on a normal life, or they go the bad guy route and start doing espionage and assassination work and stuff like that. There you go. What do you do? So you use your manacles, you cuff him.
I will cuff him.
Well, I suggest that we take him back to the inn and talk to the two people who are left there, find out what they know of this.
We certainly can do that.
If everyone wants to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy with that? Cool. Right, so what we're going to do, I'll just drop my pencil, that's fine, don't need it, is take a short break, because I think we've been going for just over an hour now, about an hour and 15 minutes, and the little boy room is calling me. So let's take a quick 5-minute break, and everybody turn your mics off, because I think OBS will probably still record whilst we're on break. And I'll see you in 5 minutes.
The D&D show would like to thank Sword Coast Soundscapes on YouTube for the music and sound effects used in this recording. Find him on Twitter at Sword Coast Sounds. Also, a massive thank you to Lewis Gale for producing our amazing theme tune. Follow him on Twitter at LewisSWGale. Lastly, from all of us here at the D&D show, thank you for downloading this podcast. You're breathtaking. See you in part 2.